Alright, so there's a lot of things you're gonna learn while watching this video. One of those things is called running. It's pretty straightforward. Most people, when they start, you run with two hands. Alright, tip for new players: do not run with two hands, especially not like I see a lot of people jumping up, or they'll like not be jumping up at all, which is fine. But when you run, use one hand at a time. So it'll look like this: one hand, and then the next hand, without hitting your body on the floor. So it's like this. And then eventually you can go faster, 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 and faster. Alright? It's pretty straightforward. Instead of running like this, run like this. And instead of hitting up really high, hit a bit lower. And like instead of hitting up, you want to push, kind of pull. And then I like to just flick my wrist at the end if you're gonna run like this. So actually I can do it with one hand. You flick your wrist at the end. And that's kind of what propels you. Or you could also go like this, but as you can see, this is quicker than going like this. The faster you do it, you can either go like this, which we'll explain later, but you can do this or like this. So that's how you would run normally, with one hand, just like this, right? And then you want to make sure that you're doing both hands though. So it's one hand goes, the next hand, one hand, then the next hand, one hand, then the, right? And then once you learn how to run with, one hand each like this, now you're gonna learn how to do something called speed running. We're gonna practice with just one hand first, for both of the things, because one hand goes in like a circle. So what we're gonna practice first: you put your hand down, you're gonna flick, bring your hand around in a circle, and go back again like this. Boom, just like that. And the faster you do it, the faster you'll go, basically. So like after you go about as fast as you can go, right? So let's say this is as fast as you can go. If you flick your wrist with it, I just went like 2 times faster, maybe. Like if this is as fast as you can go, right? And you start flicking your wrist with it, you go a little bit quicker. Instead of hitting up while doing this, also you want to hit as low down as you can, basically. So you want to hit more like this than like this. Then your next hand, this is your back hand. So if you're a lefty, your left hand goes in circles. But since I'm ready, I'll show you both. But right hand goes like this. While you're doing that, once this hand release comes off, like for another circle, you want to flick off with this hand like this. Literally, all you're doing is just going like this. Literally, all you're doing is just going like that. Right? So that's all you're gonna do. Basically, you're just gonna, right? So then when this hand comes off, it looks exactly like this. Or if you're a lefty, right? So this hand's going, and then once this hand comes off, you flick with this hand like this, right? And then obviously the faster you do it, like this, and then obviously if I flick my wrist even more, then I can go even faster. I'm actually pretty good with my left also. So yeah, this is where you get to the walls. This might look intimidating. Maybe, well, it doesn't really matter. If it does, it doesn't. In my opinion, so the first thing we're gonna learn is wall running, or wall climbing, where you go like this. There's 2 walls that you could do it. You could do it on this one, or basically any of these walls. The easiest is over there and over here. I like this one the most because it's a lot like, I just like the most. I'll show you, or this one actually. I like this one the most because it's closer. Like these walls are a bit closer together. So when you go, it's just like this, right? So you can either do it on this wall, or this wall over here. This wall, it's personal preference. This wall's basically the same, just less of an angle. So we're gonna start on this. So on this wall, you're gonna be learning how to run or wall climb, pinch climb, and vert and switch vert. Which switch vert is basically where you're in a vert. You're in a vert, and you swing yourself around like that. Right? So that's pretty easy. And okay, well, I'll get to that later. But so when you're doing this, so when you're gonna, like how when we're doing the flick run where you would flick your hand like that, it's just like that, but instead of flicking it, you're doing the same thing, but you want to go a bit higher up this time. So you want to put your hand on the wall, flick up like this. You want to go as high up as possible while making sure you're getting to the other wall. And you basically just hit off. I mean, it's pretty easy, pretty hard for newer players. Try to stay like this. Don't end up going like this, or else you'll fall. I see a lot of newer players going like this, and then they'll fall like that. But so you basically just gotta go like this. So one more example. So you want to go like this, and instead of like, you could always practice just by going like this, where you hit off, and then you hit off again, hit off again, and then you could slowly go up, or then once you get a bit better, you go up, and then once you get pretty good at the game, you can just do this, right? Basically all the way up the wall, which I don't know. That wall is really weird for me. Next one is pinch climb. You can do it on this one, this one, this one, or this one, and even that wall over there. So a pinch climb is basically where you just kind of climb up the wall like that. So basically what you want to do, you want to come close to the wall. Not super close. If you're super close, you could still do it, but I mean, I like to be able to see. I don't just want to see the wall. Anyways, you put your left hand on your left side, right hand on your right side. You're gonna push up, and now watch. A lot of people go like this. They're gonna push up, and they're either going to fall like that, or they're just gonna get stuck to the wall like that. What you need to do, you gotta push up, right? So practice, just practice going like this. Just practice pushing up, pushing up, pushing up. Now, when you do that, you're gonna push up. You bring your arms around in a circle. So push up, arms around in a circle like this. You can even practice like this. And then once you get like, I'm going super slow right now, and I'm still making it off the wall. Then make sure you're looking up, because if you look down, your head will get in the way. Once I look up, it kind of goes like right on my chin, so it doesn't get in the way. And then eventually you'll make it up. And then obviously, you can just go like this. So the faster you go, the better it'll be. And one juke that a lot of people use is either like that, which a lot of people get juked with, or not a lot of people get tagged from doing that. If you scale up and they're right below you, I normally hit off, and then you can do this thing called slide juke, which I will show, but a lot of people, once again, know that. So what I do is I use slide juke, and I'll get on top of gazebo, because pretty much no one knows that, actually. But that's basically just pinch climbing, just left hand like this, and just kind of just push up in a circle. If you have any questions, just, put them down in the comments. But pretty good spot. If you're a lefty, go left. If you're a righty, go right. But the bench is pretty good for just going like this. So you just slowly progress until you can go, like super fast. And I like to put my hand on so it's a bit higher. If you go like this, it's kind of low. I don't really like that. Make your hands more flat. So it's a pretty good way to, learn how to do that. But so then another thing is, so once you learn how to wall climb, pinch climbing doesn't really matter for this, but once you learn how to wall climb, and you can wall climb up these walls, right? There's this thing, once you get up on these walls, these are slippery, okay? I'm on 60 hertz, so they're not super slippery for me, but like, I can climb perfectly normal on this wall. As soon as I move it to here, obviously a lot harder. It's this thing called wall running. When you're on your wall, right? Let's say I'm pinch climbing, I'm wall climbing. When you wall run, it's basically if you're going like this, so it's a lot easier to start down here. But so you put your hand on the wall, and it's just like the circular motion, but instead of you gotta push forward, right? So it's not even really a circular motion. It's basically just pushing forward. So it's just like this. If you need to bring your arm around, you can. So basically, just pushing yourself forward like this, forward and up, or just forward. But it depends like where you are basically. So if you just push yourself like this in a circle, right? Just like this basically. If you're ever having problems with that, I know it is. I'm not that good at explaining wall running stuff. Just put it down in the comments. I'll try to help. Anyways, next thing. So once you get that circular motion down, this is how you vert. A vert is basically like a Lucio, but straight up. Right, so I'm not amazing at them, as you can tell, but I am decent. So a vert is vert is very useful. And this is where we get into the intermediate section. So the vert is very useful, and it's pretty hard to do. It's pretty easy to do once you learn it. Practice is key, though, I will say. So for me, if I vert like this, with my hand like this, it doesn't go that well. As soon as I go in L's, I vert a bit better. The reason why I hold my cosmetic is because I hate having the snow in my hand. So I'll hold my cosmetic, so I won't have snow in the hand. It's literally an oval. You gotta go down like this, literally just an oval. The faster you do it, see, if you just do it kind of slow, you'll stay on the wall for a little bit, but like, and then tilt your head to like, so if you're lefty, tilt your head this way. Once again, your head will like if I tilt my head towards the wall, kind of interferes. If I just don't move it at all, it's not that bad. But as soon as I tilt it, I don't even have to slip slap it. And I made it past that bridge on accident. But so that's basically the basics of vert. So then for a slide juke, this one's decently hard, I'd say. Anyways, for a slide juke, you gotta go like this. So your hand, one way to practice is to kind of go like this. Hand goes through, and then you swing yourself around. So this is a good way to practice, right? You just kind of go like to the edge, and then just kind of go like that, right? But when you do it, you're gonna go a lot further. How it'll look is like this, right? So instead of, you going like this, hitting off, and then going around, you gotta jump into it and make sure you don't accidentally go like this. You have to make sure that you stop it right like here, like right on this edge. Now that you're under it, and then you're like this. So your hand's like this, right? You're in it, and then you gotta swing your hand around like that. So what's more like, you swing your hand around like this. So yeah, just like that. And then for righties, which I normally do a right hand one, you just kind of go like this. Now, as you can see, a lot of people know this juke, and probably doesn't even really work that well. So what I like to do, if you're gonna practice, you just go like this, and then you're gonna throw yourself up to your chest. You do have to do it pretty, you do have to be pretty aggressive with it to really go up like that. So pretty easy, pretty hard, doesn't really, just kind of depends. Now, for elevator climbing, right, which is this, and then elevator switching isn't really what it's called. I'm just gonna call it that because I don't even know what to call it. Elevator, double wall switching, whatever you want to call it. This thing, anyways, that thing. For elevator climbing, it's just like the vert where you're going like that, right? Just now you gotta put your hand through the wall. When you start, you can just kind of go like this, and then just go up. But basically all it is literally all it is. My hand's inside the wall, and I go like this, right? And if you're wondering why people don't just go like this, it's because for whatever reason, like that is a lot harder than this. I don't know why, but it's just like a lot harder. So one more thing, my hand's literally just going like this. It's literally all I'm doing. And then for elevator switching, it's pretty easy in my opinion. So once you're in, make sure you're above these things. Once you're right about here, you wanna just kind of, I don't even know how to explain it. You put your hand, as you can see, my hand's right here, but my arm is in the wall. So it's like my hand is literally just right here. And then what you want to do, it's like this. What you want to do is you want to go like that. So basically, let's say this is a pretty good explanation from here. So you're gonna go around, and then when your hand is right here, you basically just swing yourself around. Now, I don't get it all the time, but when you swing yourself around, you have to make sure that you catch it. You could catch it with one hand, but I go into pinch climb position, and you just kind of put yourself back into it. If you're having problems by going like this, then you could just practice like that. You just pinch climb, and then go like that. So that's all pretty easy. Now, next, okay, so this is juking and all that, So now for Lucio, which I'm not really that good at. I learned how to vert, and then I completely forgot how to Lucio. But anyways, for Lucioing, which I used to be really good at, right now I have to one hand, but anyways, two different types. One hand Lucio, two hand Lucio. Two hand Lucio, one hand goes like this, and the other hand goes like this. This hand is going in basically a wall running motion, but up. It's like pretty much a vert. So this one's going in a vert position, but you want to kind of move yourself forward a little bit with it. So it's like half vert, half wall run. And then this hand is just like the run where you're flicking. So it's like this, right? So this hand's going like this in the circular, but you know, like while going over, or the oval, and then this hand's going like this. See, so this hand's, as you can see, it's basically just like so it's just like this, while this hand's going like this. And if you time it right, it'll be a lot better than this, but same thing. But you go backwards with it, so backwards is going I'm way better at for some reason, but just same thing basically. This hand's going in the circle, this hand's flicking, so a slip slap is basically just a Lucio, but one hand like this, one hand like this. One hand kind of goes in a circle, and this other hand hits, so this hand goes in a circle, this hand just hits straight up, or your hand's going down, but it's hitting up. So when you do it, it looks like this, as you can see. So then, when you get up to red walls, you can do basically the same thing, but how slip slap works on red walls is if the target's red walls, one hand, my right hand, since I'm a righty, or your left if you're a lefty, my right hand hits off, and my left hand hits up, right? Or well, your hand's going, so it's one hits back and one goes up, so it's like this, right? So you kind of go, so it's literally just up and back, or back and up, depending which one you would like to do, but I like to do up and back, right? So up and back, basically, so, which is also how I start my things, my Lucio's over, except I don't go back, I just go up. So one more example, just like this, up and down. Since it is angled, you kind of go down and your hand kind of slips, and then this one hits off. If you do it perfectly, I've seen people go flying over toward like that other wall, right? I'm not really that good at them. That's basically everything on walls that I can think of. That's like in my skill range or level, except for Death Wall, I guess. Yeah, hold on to me. So Death Wall is basically just like a switching, elevator. But you're on this wall, basically, right here. Normally you'd wall, so you don't really pinch climb into it, you'd be wall running. But I'm just gonna show you. So it kind of looks like this, and then you gotta pinch climb onto this, and then you fling yourself over to this other one, just like that, right? So you grab, and you fling yourself over. So that's a very interesting move that, like, basically nobody does. But now, okay, that's how I messed it up. Now we're gonna go into branching. Branching is super simple. You just have to kind of be quick. So there's two different types. Lazy branching. Never go into lazy branching. I started lazy, like, when I first got the game, I've been lazy branching. And I kind of never, it's like a habit. I don't know how to not lazy branch anymore. Like, yeah, okay, like, I can kind of not. Tip is definitely never have, like, routes. And the reason why is because if you have a route, like, let's say this is my route, right? I go like this, which I do, but, I limit it as much as I can, because a route, once they know your route, you're gonna be predictable. So it's like, you're gonna hit off, they already know, you're gonna right here. And then instead of them following you, they're just gonna come right here, and you're gonna get tagged right here. Now let's say you do this like 3 or 4 times, and then they know that you're gonna do it. But this time you move it to somewhere else, like over here or something like that. Then that's how you become a bit more unpredictable. Just don't do the same thing a lot of times in a row. And definitely don't be a circle player, is what I call them. Circle players, in my opinion, they basically just do this. They literally do pretty much the same thing in a circle over and over again. Which, as I said that, my song said that. Anyways, they basically do the same thing in the circle over and over again. Very annoying players and all that. But,